welcome to Too Fast, Too Forever. There's all kinds of family. We chose this one. This is episode 341, Tune-Up, Lap 13. I'm Joey Lewandowski.
I'm Joe, too. And this episode is brought to you by MileX Equipment, Inc., a distributor of automotive bus truck tools and equipments since 1979. Shout out to MileX Equipment.
Well, shout out to MileX Equipment, and welcome to Too Fast, Too Forever. In this episode, we are going to, if you're not listened to a tune-up before, I hope you would listen to it. I hope this is not somebody's first episode, because This
would be a terrible first episode, I think.
This originally started as an idea, because when we first started the podcast, the only episodes we were doing were the Fast and Furious movies.
Yes.
And you were like, why don't we give ourselves a little break and do a thing that's not the movie, and just do a little pit stop or whatever, and then we started cutting other things in, so like, these are less important, but still important because we're going to look back and look ahead. The listeners, you out there, will get to know what our lap theme is for lap 14. Our
yes,
patrons they've known for a while now.
They have. $1 a month.
Exciting.
$1 a month.
$1 a month gets you all the secrets in the world and access to the secret garden.
The secret. Do you want to see a secret garden?
So, Joe, this was lap 13. This was our planes, trains, but no automobiles lap. This is our 41st episode in the main feed. We did a bunch of bonus episodes as well. My question to you, should I Google the definition of a vehicle?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes, 100%. We should get the not that we have to agree with it or accept it or use it. But I think that, the most glorious moment that we had this lap of this podcast was learning about different vehicles, learning about what other people considered vehicles, talking about different vehicles. So I agree. Hit us with that Merriam-Webster.
So I'm looking up in 3 places. I'm looking on Google.
Okay.
I'm asking ChatGPT.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And I'm asking Perplexity AI, which is a great new search engine.
Not Merriam-Webster? Why are you not using Merriam-Webster?
Well, I can do Merriam-Webster. Merriam-Webster. And okay. I'll start with Merriam-Webster.
Because that should be the gold standard. This is where we should start. What?
This first definition, I feel like we've been thinking too small, to be honest.
What?
The Merriam-Webster definition of vehicle, number 1. A means of carrying or transporting something. Doesn't be a person.
Are capillaries vehicles?
Vehicles for blood.
You'd think so, right?
Or carts, like mine carts transporting mines.
Mine carts were vehicle. Oh, always.
Oh, sure.
It didn't
I'm just thinking like
matter.
Things. I think because we were like part of my sticking point was like,
can you move
yeah.
on it? But you're like, well, yeah. If you had, hey man, squirrel on a water jet, on a jet ski, right? That's what you can do. Yeah.
Number 2 definition: an agent of transmission.
That's a vehicle, like the vehicle through which it came, like
correct.
That. Yeah.
And then the third one: a medium through which something is expressed, achieved, or displayed as an investment vehicle. So
yes.
Yeah, but a means of carrying or transporting something, such as a motor vehicle or a piece of mechanized equipment, planes, trains, and other vehicles. Okay, that's what Merriam-Webster says.
Okay.
Google says a thing used for transporting people or goods, especially on land.
Especially on land? Okay.
Such as a car, truck, or cart. That completely gets rid of boats and planes and things in the sky. I don't like that. Google, I don't like that. That's from Oxford.
Fuck it. Oxford's trash. We said Merriam-Webster from the rip. Yep.
ChatGPT. I said, what is a vehicle? A vehicle is any means of transportation used to carry people or goods from one place to another. Vehicles can operate on various mediums, including roads, waterways, railways, and airways, and can be propelled by different types of energy sources, such as muscle power.
Okay. Oh, I like that. That was a ChatGPT fucking knows. There we go. Bikes are in.
Muscle power, fuel combustion, or electric power. There are many types of vehicles, including, first one listed, bicycles, motorcycles, cars, trucks, boats, ships, trains, and airplanes, each designed for specific purposes and environments. Vehicles play a crucial role in modern society, enabling efficient movement of goods and individuals, contributing to economic development, and facilitating connectivity and mobility.
Okay.
Pretty good definition.
Can you ask ChatGPT our question of the day?
Is a ladder a vehicle?
Yes.
You're going to hear that later in this episode and also in an episode in a few weeks in the Patreon. No, a ladder is not considered a vehicle. A ladder is a piece of equipment consisting of a series of bars or steps between two upright lengths of wood, metal, or rope used for climbing up or down something. It's designed to help people reach higher places or to work at elevated heights safely. Unlike vehicles, ladders do not transport people or goods from one place to another.
You fucking liar. You just fucking said it.
Do not have systems for propulsion or steering. But a ladder transports a person from the ground to the air. Your observation is interesting in that ChatGPT is like smoking a little bit of weed, just like...
It's like, yo, bro. Yeah.
Your observation is interesting in that a ladder does enable vertical movement, effectively, quote-unquote, transporting a person from a lower position to a higher one. However, in the context of transportation vehicles, the term transport typically refers to moving entities, parentheses, people or goods, horizontally across distances.
Horizontal distance is a factor?
From one location to another rather than simply elevating them. Vehicles are defined by their ability to carry people or cargo over distances.
She's banning elevators now, too.
Okay, then is an elevator a vehicle? Yes, an elevator can be considered
you fucking liar.
A vehicle.
Ban it all. Burn it all down. We broke
specifically
ChatGPT.
A vertical transportation vehicle because it is designed to move people or goods between different levels or floors of a building or structure.
ChatGPT, what the fuck is the difference between an elevator and a ladder then?
What is the difference between an elevator ladder then?
It's just going to tell you
the difference lies in their mechanism, usage, and safety features.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay, so hold on. I'm going to say, what are some other kinds of vertical transportation vehicles? This is my last question. I'm going to ask it.
Okay.
Escalators. Moving walkways.
That's horizontal. That's horizontal.
Dumbwaiters.
Dumbwaiter counts. Okay, I like that.
Counts.
That's just elevator, small elevator. That's what I said.
Patented lifts, stair lifts, vertical conveyor systems.
Chair lift. Like a chair, both a chair lift for skis and also like one of those things that would like ride you up the stairs if you had trouble while going upstairs. Definitely
and
vehicle.
Cable cars too.
Cable cars for sure. Gondolas.
Okay.
Of course.
So here's Perplexity, which referenced Merriam-Webster, Wiki, Cambridge, and Dictionary. A vehicle is a machine designed for self-propulsion, usually to transport people or cargo or both. It can include a wide range of transportation methods such as wagons, bicycles, motor vehicles, railed vehicles, watercraft, aircraft, and spacecraft. In a broader sense, a vehicle can also refer to a medium through which something is expressed, achieved, or displayed.
Understood,
That's a vehicle, yeah. Okay. Is a ladder a vehicle? No, a ladder is not typically considered a vehicle. The vehicle is usually defined as a machine, usually with wheels and an engine. Getting narrow here.
Yeah.
We're transporting people or goods.
I don't like these narrow-minded definitions. I think Merriam got it right.
I love dumbwaiter confirmed.
Confirmed. Don't argue. The facts, as Ben Shapiro would say, the facts don't care about your feelings.
Do you have a favorite vehicle from this past lap?
Oh, no. I mean, we had so many. I can't. I think horse being a definitive vehicle is one of my favorite, just like of commonality and fun. That's probably up there. Elevator is one of my favorite vehicles too.
Elevator is good. We had a couple rocket ships.
Do you have a favorite vehicle?
The one that stands out, it's not my favorite, but when you in RRR, when he carries the other guy on his shoulders, is that a vehicle? And I was like,
piggyback ride.
Maybe
piggyback ride was one of your favorites.
Maybe.
Like brain breaks that you were like, I mean, yeah, I guess
kind
right.
Of.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's hey, muscle power was included in the definition, by the way. So
True.
Many means of power.
This is also the lap wherein we all learned, including myself, that I love control rooms.
Yeah, did you have a favorite control room this lap?
Pelham was really good.
Pelham was on TV the other day. Do you see me post a picture? I put it back on TV. It was on like AMC Classics or TM something, right? Turner Classic Movies or something.
No, but yeah, that was good. I mean, a lot of good control rooms. I've not watched that. Patrons know that I found a 20-minute long video of
dudes in control
movies best
room.
control rooms.
Yeah.
I've not watched that yet, but I'm going to.
Save it for Valentine's Day. Watch it with Margaret. Get a little excited. You're like, hey babe, hold on. I gotta put something on in the background.
Control room.
Get this control room going.
I do like that the lap started with, because this was also, we were finishing up our Fast 10 episodes. Our first bonus episode we did was Brian's pick of Armageddon, and not for the spaceship, but for the moon, the thing on the asteroid. Remember that the
oh yeah
space vehicle.
Yes, yeah.
Obviously, every lap that we have guests, I love all our guests, but I think maybe my favorite, because it was such a dumb idea, and I really wanted to do it, and I'm glad we did it.
What?
The arrival of a train at La Ciotat. Tobin explaining the Lumiere brothers to us, to you.
So, spoilies a little bit ahead. I love our guests. The lineup is incredible, and you guys know that we have, I think, a lot of great guests. There's a few that have a very teachery presence. You know, yeah. Tobin is definitely one of them.
Because he's a literal teacher.
Mark, you said, is a literal teacher.
Yep.
So, like, there's some guests that we have that just come on, and I'm like, my brain's going to get bigger today. They are going to teach me things, and I'm here to enjoy this listening as much as hopefully you guys are. And so, yes, I definitely agree.
Yeah, stay tuned for the rest of this episode.
Stay tuned for the rest of this episode. You might want to listen.
Was there a particular movie? I know we've done a bunch, like with the, including bonus episodes.
Do you have a list of them? Can I just look at a list somewhere?
We did 55 episodes this lap, including bonuses. And we got a couple more that we're going to do. We have a couple more that we're going to do for Patreon that is not out yet. Arrival of the Train at La Ciotat, Armageddon, Jaws, Quadrophenia. Some of these are for Patreon. If you want to get these episodes, toofast2forever.com. Snakes on a Plane, Terminator 2, Rad, Airplane, RRR, the Barkley Marathons, Every Which Way But Loose.
I just talked about how much I love the Barkley Marathons to two friends that we went to go see an Oscar movie with the other day. Excellent movie. I'm very glad you introduced me to that this lap.
Shout out to Ellen. Every Which Way But Loose, The Bullet Train, Space Camp, Titanic,
Bullet Train was slept on, I think. Shadow in the Cloud was so much fun. I would have never watched this movie. Excellent pick, Josh. Seriously. It's
Monster
insane.
in the Closet, our Halloween movie. Megaforce, Taking of Pelham, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Shame, Runaway Train, Crimson Tide, Christmas movie, Christmas Chronicles Part 2.
Yes.
Passenger 57, Rumble in the Bronx. Oh, Hovercraft, one of my favorite vehicles.
I'm glad we finally got to watch Passenger 57 too, by the way, right? Like, that was like a good thing to just check off the list. Everybody says it. No, yes.
Broken Arrow, Pacific Rim, School Ties, which is not out yet, but that's our Patreon bonus next episode. Turbo Kid we're doing on the Patreon, RPM, and Zardoz. We got a lot of vehicles this lap. A lot of vehicles.
It was, and it was a nice spread. Like I said, I thanked you guys before and during, but this was a really great breath of the Planes, Trains, and Automobiles lap. I think that I was saying this to Joey this weekend when I saw him, that one of the things that I like most about us doing Too Fast is that I feel like everyone is just picking a list of movies for me to watch.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like a very hyper-specific curated film club directly for me, which is a very self-centered way to look at the universe, but that's how I do. So, and excellent choices all around. It came together and culminated really, really well. I think it was a very wide stretch net, and it worked out.
It worked out so well. I also will tell you don't know this yet, and this is for the next lap, and we're going to get to it for a while. And I'm not going to tell you what yet, but Alex Ellenen is taking us on basically like a 3-year-long journey for his next 4 patron picks. So,
oh, really?
Just getting ready.
Is it something that he thinks that I should watch, and I'm assuming you've seen?
It's a thing that we talked about that inspired him to pick a thing or a series of things. You know.
Okay.
Anything else to do in the tune-up? We talked about the theme. We talked about the movies. We talked about the guests. Talked about what we learned.
Are you going to do a new rankings? I'm definitely not doing a new rankings.
I have new rankings. Let's hold on.
That's usually what we do here, right?
We have, for sure. Usually with a guest, we would do it. But here, okay. I did update this 3 weeks ago. What did we watch 3 weeks ago? Was it? Oh, it was probably 10.
Okay.
Okay. Bottom up or top? Bottom up. I'll go bottom up.
Yes.
Hobbs.
Oh, all the way at the bottom now. Okay, keep going.
In 10th place, 9.
Yeah. Okay.
In 9th place, 10.
10 that low already off the rip. You don't. Momoa's not doing it for you.
It's what I talked about in that episode.
The unfulfillment of an
unfulfilled.
ending. Okay, that's fair. Understandable.
Which means number 8 bumped up a little bit because it used to be lower. Too fast. It's getting the benefit of being an early movie.
It's getting juice. Yeah, I like.
I'm also gonna like that movie more when we're done with that in the minute by minute breakdown.
I think so too. Like whenever, like not next lap because we're about to like finish, but the lap after when we've been done and you haven't seen Too Fast for a while and you just watch it blisteringly fast, like just through, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, okay.
Number 7, Fate of the Furious.
Okay.
Number 6, Fast and Furious 2009. Number 4.
Okay.
Number 5 is Furious 7.
Fair.
Number 4 is Fast and Furious 6.
Okay.
Number 3, Tokyo Drift.
Nice.
Number 2, the original.
Yes.
And number 1, Fast 5.
Exactly. That's a good list. Okay. Yours is getting narrowed down pretty tight. I think that I don't think that you're gonna start to deviate from this very much. I think that it's going to be like 10 might be like a little bit of a breaker.
10 could go up, I think.
That's what I mean.
3 spots. Maybe like, it could jump 4, 8, and 2 if, depending on where it goes. But like if this is
I think
where,
your top 6 is pretty much locked in.
I would love to think, well, mystery movie, reboots, Letty Led.
Yeah. But I'm saying like if it feels right now at this instance that us watching these more will not change your top 6 without new content.
What doing this podcast did, which I think you predicted early on, is that like the first one, instead of, like the first I think was like 4th maybe for me, and now it's 2nd. Like I think it was like 5, 6, 3, 1 maybe.
Yeah.
And now it's 5, 1, 3, 6. That also means like I like 6 a little bit less than I did. I mean, I still love it, but like.
Yes, I understood.
You have another like 18 months before your ranking, so you have 2 more laps after lap 15.
Excellent, beautiful. I hopefully have another movie by then too.
Hope we'll find out.
We'll find out.
All right, let's take a break and let us bring in not our guest for this lap, but we have something that's never happened before that we joked about, and then it happened. You know what happened, but we had sponsors for the next lap. 2 men, 2 twisted minds.
Brave.
Oh, I was going Twisted Minds like Jared Leto.
Okay.
Who chose our theme in every main feed pit stop we are watching. Let's take a break. I'll come back and hear from these 2 twisted minds.
Goofy goobers.
We are now here with what I was calling the twisted minds behind the sponsors behind lap 14, here to unveil the theme, their picks.
This is kind of monumental. This is fun.
I was saying this before. We said this when they signed up for the tier. We did this tier as a joke. We didn't think people were going to do it.
This is absolutely a joke. Always a joke.
It's a dumb idea to spend this much money on this show. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Dumb idea.
Absolutely appreciate it.
But they did it. So with us today, you know their names from the middle of the Patreon wall of names. We have Josh Buckley of Whole Lotta Wolves and Michael Moser. Hello, guys.
How's it going?
Welcome to the show. Josh, welcome back. Michael, welcome for the first time. So the patrons, even more reason to join the Patreon. They've known this team for months now. We've got about half their picks for this upcoming lap. But the listeners, the main feed, the Garrett Smith fan favorite, main feed fan favorite, Garrett Smith. Everyone else doesn't know the theme yet. So I don't know if you guys want to say it at the same time, like we do the Montez thing. What is the theme for lap 14?
I'll let Mike do it because Mike, we kind of brainstormed a few ideas.
He was the real twisted mind behind?
Well, so we talked because at first he was thinking just musicals really to
Oh,
make life
oh,
miserable for you,
I
Joey.
would have died.
Um,
Oh,
I would have loved
I
it.
did talk him down from that, but then we kind of settled on one. Mike, you want to tell him what it was?
So really and honestly, I was trying to screw you both as much as possible to start with, and it was going to be musicals and Christmas all year
Christmas
long.
musicals.
And
That sounds perfect. Yeah.
Or musicals about Christmas, to screw you both as much
I
as
think there would have been a
possible.
lot of death and despair in those and like sorrow, so Joey would have probably liked a lot of them. On top of him loving Christmas movies. So
And I brought up that, they do still want to keep their listeners. So let's think of something else.
Yeah. So Josh said, "Are you a complete and total idiot?" And I said, "No, not really." So he said, "Well, what about like cult classics?" And I said, "Well, yeah, that could work. But when? What years? What genre? What?"
Oh, so you guys have the same relationship that me and Joe have. I'm like, Joe has an idea. I'm like, okay, there's something here, but it's not an idea yet. That's way too fucking broad.
So yes, and very much so. Yes. Josh is the Joey of the two, and I am the Joe of the two.
Beautiful.
Interesting.
beautiful.
Okay.
Because I am the ADHD brain where it's just go, go, go. And Josh is the let's plan out with the multiple spreadsheets and have the calendars and
I'm like, well, let's reel it in, big guy. Let's try and
You need one
So
of
he
those.
he said cult classics, and you said narrow it down, narrow it down, narrow it down.
yeah. So we narrowed it all the way down to 80s folk classics.
Beautiful.
And that way Mike can still get in some of his musicals for you guys.
Definitely can. Yeah.
We do have at least, I think there is one or
Well, there's at least one musical, and there's at least one that's like based around music, right? So like,
yeah.
Right.
again, this is your lap. You can do whatever you want in terms of announcing. Do you want to announce all the movies, some of the movies,
Tease
none
some
of the movies,
them, all of them.
I'm going to announce my 5, and I'll let Mike decide if he wants to announce his.
I may drop a couple, but
Okay.
Because we don't. Joe and I don't think Joe and I know which is whose.
We don't. We definitely don't.
and we actually don't know y'all's pick because y'all said that y'all were going to pick a couple. Since y'all don't have to actually come up with movies this month for this lap, y'all were going to pick some. So we don't actually know y'all's picks for this lap either.
Well, we're each getting one pick, and they're going to be Patreon exclusive, and they're going to be in the middle of the lap. So
Okay.
listeners don't get to know. Maybe we'll tell you guys maybe after we're done recording. But please, Josh,
we could do that. Yeah.
if you want to start, either do your 5 or whatever, hit us with what you got.
Thinking about that musical, idea, one of the choices is Labyrinth.
Okay.
Which,
Never seen it.
I'm not going to lie, guys. I watched it after Mike and I came up with this list. This movie did not hold up very well.
Even better. That's fine.
Great.
We watch a lot of movies that don't hold up well.
I watched it as well, and it was, why the hell did you pick this?
Yeah.
Why the hell did we pick this?
Now, one that has held up a little bit better is my second choice, and that is The Never-Ending Story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I haven't seen that since I was a very small child.
So far, I've not seen either of these movies.
That's
ever.
actually fun. Cool.
Oh,
Yep.
Okay.
Ooh.
Well, this is good.
We're knocking some off of your list there, then.
Yep. There's another one that recently kind of came back into popularity because of a Disney Plus show, but the original Willow.
Never seen it.
I have seen one of those.
Okay. Willow, you'll enjoy. It's a Val Kilmer at his finest, I
Beautiful.
feel like.
I love it.
Also had to get some Predator in there.
Mm-hmm. Of course. That's actually the first one we're doing. That's our first pit stop coming up right after The Fast and the Furious.
The last one, well, shoot, I think I took one. That's right. Labyrinth was actually yours, wasn't it, Mike? Didn't we decide on that?
Yes.
Okay. The last one that I picked is a very little known one, but was my favorite 80s movie growing up.
What is
and that
it?
is Ewoks Battle for Endor.
Which I have never seen, and I actually don't even
What
know
is
if
it,
I
like a
knew
Star
that was
Wars
a movie.
like spin-off? Short?
So yes,
What?
they did
is.
two Ewok movies that were spin-offs
Okay.
from Return of the Jedi. The first one, okay. The second one, great. Wilford Brimley is actually in it.
Oh, jeez.
And he makes muffins, so maybe that's what gave him diabetes. I
Maybe
don't know.
I just saw. Yeah, that's insane. Okay, I didn't know that this existed. So, welcome aboard.
So now, when they redid the canon for Star Wars, is this movie still canon, or did they wipe this? Is this no longer canon? Do you know?
I do not know. Surely it probably is because
yeah,
it doesn't
it
have
has
any
to
of the
be.
Skywalkers. I mean,
Okay,
literally, it just has some of the Ewoks in Wicket, and that's it.
perfect.
Okay. Now, Michael, your picks, or you can keep the mystery. You don't have to. Don't feel.
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
feel
I'm
peer
gonna-
pressure.
I'm gonna announce only some of them.
Okay,
I'm gonna leave the rest for surprises.
okay.
My only two criteria that I absolutely had to have was, one, there had to be a musical in there.
Okay.
Like a number,
Because-
at least a musical number.
Two, there had to be a Christmas movie in there.
Yep.
Okay.
And three, there had to be one for late night Brian Rodriguez.
Oh,
Ooh.
sexy
Okay.
time pick. Ooh.
Okay.
Y'all can figure out which one is going to be Brian, but I think the perfect movie for Brian is going to be The Princess Bride.
Well, I will tell you that when we were looking for guests, somebody else quickly
Oh,
jumped at that one. So we have a guest for that one. It's not Brian.
okay.
Ooh.
Either that one or maybe Footloose. You
Mhm.
might like that one.
True.
Very true.
The original Footloose with Kevin Bacon.
Yes,
Of
the original.
course.
Yes, of
80s cult
course.
classic.
Yes.
Exactly. Now, my musical is Little Shop of Horrors.
Mhm.
Perfect.
So here's a question for you.
Rachel's a
Do
big
you
fan.
prefer the happy ending or the sad ending?
It actually doesn't matter.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know there were two
Yeah.
endings.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is news
Two
to me.
radically different endings. They're both on the Blu-ray. If you have the
Mhm.
Blu-ray.
Okay, interesting.
And my Christmas movie is Scrooged.
I
Mhm.
fucking love Scrooged. I watch Scrooged a lot. It's one of the ones we actually usually watch on Christmas Day. Big fan. I love Bill Murray. We were just watching Groundhog Day the other day, so yes.
So the other ones will remain a little bit of a mystery.
Well, I think there's only
Um,
one left, so we'll just
There's
leave that one.
two.
Oh, there's two?
There's two.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's
Mhm.
actually two
Mhm.
left. One of yours and one of mine.
Yep. And they're
Oh,
both,
okay.
those two are both toward the end of the lap. So people are going to have to wait to find out these mystery
Yeah.
movies.
Good, trudge along.
Cool.
You got a long road without you, my
Cool.
friend.
All right. So before we let you guys go, before we say goodbye, Josh already did the character quiz when he was on talking about whatever movie he talked about with us, but Michael has not.
Mr.
So
Nobody.
Michael is
Yeah,
going
and
to do.
I don't agree with his. I still do not agree with
I mean,
yours,
look at that
Josh,
face. He's so
but,
Kurt
you know,
Russell. He's so Kurt
whatever.
Russell.
No. No.
Belgian
not at
ale.
all.
Belgian ale sounds good.
We're gonna find out who you are. Maybe Josh can be like, no way.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
Josh is probably going to jump in at least once or twice on
Ain't
this.
no way he's Queenie. All right, Michael. Question number 1: how fast are you? NASCAR, roller coaster, Lamborghini Murcielago, Toyota Prius, Vespa, or Razor scooter?
See, that's going to depend on if I am actually driving the Uber or not.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, with people riding in your vehicle, I hope.
Because I've ridden with him without the Uber, and I grab the old shit bar a lot.
Oh,
With normal people, it's NASCAR.
okay.
With
Mhm.
with Uber, it's whatever. I don't remember the middle one, so whatever the middle one is. So
Lambo or Prius?
So let's go roller coaster since it's in the middle of the two.
Okay.
Perfect.
Question number 2: how furious are you? The Hulk, Kylo Ren, Christian Bale in that one movie said that one time, Mel Gibson, Charlie Brown, or Jack McBride?
I'm curious of the answer.
The Hulk.
Okay.
Okay.
He's Mel Gibson.
Yes. No.
You think
my
Mel
stuff
Gibson?
is not. My stuff is not racist.
That's also fair.
He's Mel Gibson.
Just wait for our School Ties episode.
And when I go crazy, it's very quickly angry.
Makes sense.
It is.
School Ties. Have you guys seen this movie?
No.
Very much about anti-Semitism.
Out of nowhere. Totally unexpected, but yes. Yeah. Okay, never mind. Sorry for derailing.
You guys will hear our episode on Sunday,
That's
on
true.
Super Bowl Sunday.
Oh, that's true.
All
It's a Super Bowl movie, yeah.
Question number 3. We're having a barbecue. How are you helping, Michael? Are you manning the grill, saying grace, kicking back with a beer, babysitting, being the entertainment, or sneaking a snack?
Well, see, I'm getting voluntold to man the grill.
That's fine. Okay, manning the grill. I like that.
Okay. You've got time to kill. What are you doing? Grabbing a bite, working on your car, hanging with friends, drinking beer, working out, or doing some work on your computer?
Definitely not working out.
That was a shot?
Wow.
Jeez.
From
Across
the top
the bow.
ropes.
Wow.
At least I do more than row.
That's okay.
Row at home.
I know what rowing at home is code for, because I've masturbated 15 miles today.
No, he actually has a rowing machine that he does at home.
I was just teasing it. That's like one of my favorite jokes. That was like, according to my Fitbit, I've masturbated for 15 miles today.
Did you hear that there was like a bunch of Chipotles that did a 300-meter stretch next to a bunch of their restaurants, and that said whoever in this city runs this stretch of land the most times in January gets free burritos for a year?
Oh, wow.
And so...
And it was in certain cities. It was like I saw like a dozen. Big
it was
metros.
It was in
or
Walt's
something.
newsletter. But
Okay,
it was like
yeah.
New York did like 900 times, and somebody else did like 700 times or whatever. But like 5 people in LA they tied, and they realized that the fine print, if there was a tie for first,
They had to give.
everyone got it.
Oh, so they. Good
Oh, wow.
shit. I like those people. Big brain thinkers. I like that.
So all 5 of them get free burritos for a year.
Good.
It was like a
See,
way
that's
lower
how you
number.
figure out like 2 people sponsoring a podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
Split it.
Do you guys watch Pepsi Where's My Jet? It felt like that, right?
Yes. Yep.
I have not. But anyway, since I am in college, I would be working on my computer.
Fair enough.
Describe your wedding. I'm never getting married. It's me and my partner. It's us and our families. It's a backyard country affair. Everyone I know is there. I don't remember.
The first one or the second one, because they were the same. They were me and my partner.
Me and my partner.
That's
Okay.
the best way to do it.
And me. I was there.
Even better. Best way to do it.
You just
And then
won
it
the
turned into I
lottery.
don't remember.
What are you buying? My own garage, a private plane. I'm gambling it all away. My childhood home, a fleet of cars, or a new life.
A new life.
Amen. Everybody wants that.
Final question to determine it all. What is your drink of choice? Belgian ale, Corona, something fruity, water, whatever's cheapest, or just whatever Joe's getting at the bar. Give me one, whatever you're having.
There's a stipulation with whatever you're having, as long as there's no pineapple or coconut in it.
I could do that. Yeah, I'm easy to get along with.
So it would be whatever you're having minus pineapple and coconut.
Works
So
for
something
me.
fruity, definitely. Okay, cool.
Yes. Something fruity for sure.
All right, Joe, do you have any guesses? Because I think the guess is going to be correct.
Oh, Dom.
Dom Toretto. Josh, is he Dom or is he not Dom? The face.
The
I
face
don't know.
says it all.
I don't know.
Michael, your stoic attitude is intimidating, your cool demeanor under pressure is inspiring, and your expertise under the hood is envied. But all these pale in comparison to your loyalty to your family. You may claim to live your life a quarter mile at a time, but there's nothing you wouldn't do for the people in your life. And at the end of the day, nothing makes you happier than throwing something on the grill and sharing a few
There you
Coronas with
go.
your familia. And you
Drive
drive
like the
like
wind
the wind
blows.
Okay, yeah, that last part's on him because I was thinking going in, he's more Roman to me. Just that
yes.
goofy sidekick.
You jackass.
You
Dom
just first person your own story there. I did that earlier in the episode, so it's okay. But I had big main character syndrome for a second, so I understand.
Guys, is there anything else you want to share? Anything else you want to preview or looking forward to?
And
or
thank
excited
you.
about or worried about? Well, thank you. Number one,
Yes.
thank you. But anything else you want to say about this upcoming lap?
So you can actually thank this lap to Brian Rodriguez.
Yeah?
Because, since I had to listen to this entirety thanks to Josh and Joe, in like the first, lap or two, he actually, when y'all first started the Patreon, talked about him and Mike going together and doing this.
Makes
so
sense.
That got my brain going and saying,
Brian's full of bad ideas. He is always full of bad ideas.
I should do this. Then I started thinking more and more and more about it, and I roped Josh into it.
Yeah, he went, who's my bank? Who's the other guy that's crazy enough? Who's the guy that's crazy enough to say yes to this scheme? And, that's usually me.
Who ain't hungry no more? And it's Josh, so, Also, I don't know how Joe and Josh haven't won the We Got a Podcast for You, because I have written in.
True.
I have listened to every single episode.
Well, we play by points. It's all tweets. So.
And I have retweeted and liked and shared and written in and became a Patreon. So,
but you also think everybody died at the end of Fast X. So I mean,
I'm just saying.
So he's questionable from the rip.
Yeah, he's sitting there like, oh, the whole family died, and I'm looking at it like,
what?
You out of your mind?
You're still the only person who have thought that, because we've asked
I'm just
everyone
saying.
else. Yeah.
Okay, and now they have to, because Dom did what he did. So,
well, we're just saying thank you for sponsoring.
Thank you
for being patrons.
Of course.
Thank you
Thank
so
for
much,
listening.
brothers. Seriously.
And thank you for controlling the next 9 or so months of our lives. So not really, but kind of, a little bit.
We love it. You guys do a great job.
Oh,
We
yeah.
love supporting good content, not just content.
Thank you.
Really elite content.
Thank you.
Thankfully, we
Would
have
you say
Walt on this lap,
premier
so that'll be
and dedicated content.
What's
Don't
that,
worry
Joey?
about that. Don't worry about it. That's just a thing for Joe. Just making Joe laugh.
You
Thank you,
got
guys.
me. You definitely got me. Thank you.
All right, now that we know the theme for Lap 14, surprise, we are going to have...
All stars, heavy hitters.
All stars, yes.
Okay.
I didn't realize that last lap, not this past lap, but like lap 12 was the Montez lap. That feels so long ago.
Miles.
That
miles
feels
away.
like years ago.
Miles away.
But quarter mile at a time. Sometimes when I don't really want to do a thing, like I love doing the show, but I hate finding new guests, because it's just like I want to find new guests and whatever, and like they're going to be good and they're going to, make new friends, but it's like it's tough. And so I'm like, I got to start booking the next lap. I'm like, oh no, like I got to find people. And then I kicked the can so far down the road that I got a drunken DM saying, hey, we want to do the show. And I'm like, what episode? And he said yes. So with us all lap long, which is so exciting, all stars, show saying heavy hitters, all stars, past guests of the show, you know them, you love them, back to talk about the state of cinema and the Fast and the Furious all lap long. We have Walt, Hickey, and Kim Bhasin. Welcome back, gentlemen.
What is up?
Hello.
I am
This is
so
so
stoked. I am very,
exciting.
very... You don't know how excited this made me hearing this news.
We are so back. We are so back.
Super psyched. Let's do this thing.
Oh,
So please tell us, because we don't know the backstory, tell us and the listeners, how did we
what?
get here?
Yeah, how are we here?
I mean, it's a really incredible question. I think it all goes back to like maybe 10 years ago in a bar near Business Insider, where I catch the eye of this guy, Kim Bhasin, and we just, we become friends.
Vibing.
And then years later, become interested in a particular franchise.
Okay.
And then we become friends. And then after a certain point, we've done the show a couple times. And, just like we kind of started, we were in a bar in Midtown Manhattan, and we were talking about fun things. We were talking about movies. We were talking about the Fast and the Furious. And we were like, well, we know some guys who talk about the Fast and the Furious a lot.
All the time.
I think that we were like 10 minutes into a conversation about the state of film and the state of Fast and Furious and why they are perfect reflections of one another.
Okay.
And then listen, my fingers just started typing. I don't even remember exactly what they said, but they were just like, we got a pitch for you. Hear me out. And the rest is audio history. Or
I believe you said something like, we should do the Fast and Furious podcast, and that was kind of it. And then now we're here. Look at that.
Out of body experience brought you to us. The Lord took your fingers and sent them in a message to Joey. I love it.
I don't even think that's what happened. I think the Lord touched his mighty clutch and then removed the safety and then tapped the button that is NOS upon my very body.
Beautiful.
And injected my body with just
the energy drink or the car enhancement serum.
The car enhancement, boys.
Okay.
Or the energy drink. I can do both. And I think the spirit just moved me, and spoke through my thumbs.
Perfect.
Now, when you say the Lord, we are talking about Vin Diesel.
Yes,
right?
Yes,
obviously.
Only whatever God Vin Diesel tells us that we should follow.
So I think, and it sounds crazy. I don't think it's actually crazy though. I was trying to explain this to a friend yesterday who doesn't really care about these movies, and I think other than when Paul Walker died while making Fury 7, I don't think there's been as many question marks about what the future of this holds than there are right now, which feels weird because there should only theoretically be one more movie. But it's now we might have 4 more movies? The Interquel, there's Fast 10 Part 2, there's this new mystery movie being penned, that might be the Letty Led movie, that might be a separate movie, there might be, possibly a Hobbs and Shaw movie that's not Hobbs, the Interquel. There also might be a reboot. Like, there's so much. When we were like a year ago, we're like, we got one more movie after this, right? It's Fast 10 and then Fast 10 Part 2, and that's it. And then maybe a reboot, who knows? And now there might be like, it's insane.
And there also might be no movies at all.
There also might be no movies at all.
There might be no movies at all. Maybe like Vin Diesel just goes and makes his Hannibal thing. Like, anything is genuinely possible. And while it's never been more terrifying, I've also never felt more alive.
That's true.
But this is also like it's the third time basically where anything has been possible, right? So if you go back to after the third one,
yes,
and what could the fourth one have looked like? It could have looked like absolutely anything. And then after Paul's death, what was going to happen after that? And now we have the third inflection point of the Furious, and which way is it going to go?
Is there, because so Walt, you were on to talk about Fast 5 with us, the original episode. Kim, what movie did you talk about with? Because in the first episode we kind of talked about all of them, but what movie were you on? Do you remember which one you talked about us in depth with?
Oh no, absolutely not. I have no idea. We were talking about.
Oh, you did about Fate of the Furious.
Fate of the Furious. Oh yeah. That's because I had done that Stats of the Furious story that calculated every single stat of the Furious.
One of us has done an in-depth statistical analysis of Fast and the Furious, and it's not me.
That's
that
insane.
I think is one of the most important parts of this.
Insane.
Well, because I was explaining, because Joe and I hung out over the weekend. I was explaining to my girlfriend we're so excited. She's like, why? And I'm like, well, because all the reasons. We're like, how did we meet Walt? And I'm like, I don't think it was for Fast and Furious. I'm like, what was it for? We looked back, and you wrote the 5 types of Nicolas Cage movies. Yeah. And then on that episode, we talked about 211, which is still the worst Nicolas Cage movie that's ever come out.
Not a good
dog shit, garbage.
Very, very bad.
And this is coming from someone who loves almost everything he's ever made. This is atrocious. I'm like, we also have a Fast and Furious. She's like, okay, let's do that. And then it kind of went from there. But in my brain, it's like you were Fast 5, but no, before that it was Cage. And so it is wild that one of you did a deep dive into this franchise, and it wasn't the stats man, it was Kim.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was a whole lot of fun. It's Bloomberg News. We do tons of data viz stats, kind of stuff.
I like how highbrow we're getting, Joey.
Me.
Look at the oh man. Mm-hmm. I just want to say we have to class this up this lap a little bit.
It's like the easiest ask ever. It's like you spent dozens or not, if not hundreds of hours watching these movies for one piece of journalism, one piece of content, if
these
you will.
Films, put a little bit in this lab. We're going to put a little bit of respect on it. These aren't mere movies. are filmed. And you don't just go to watch the movies and have them on in the background. We're going to go to the cinema. We're gonna put on our tie and tails, and we're going to watch a motion picture.
We're going to get dolled up.
Those motion pictures are going to be about cars that are fast and men that are furious that come together in a beautiful combination 10 different times and maybe up to 14.
And when you do a data visualization project on those movies, you then spend many, many hours watching them frame by absolute frame. We were calculating bicep time, exposed male bicep time, frame by frame. And it's so subjective because what constitutes a fully exposed male bicep? I don't
know.
Yeah, it was a lot of debating back and forth. Maybe that took even more time than the frame by frame.
I mean, we just spent an entire 9 months arguing, not even arguing, actually agreeing on what is a vehicle, and we still don't know.
That was really good. That was such a very silly thing that you guys did.
We did have a chart about hanging off of a vehicle, so I got to pull up the exact methodology we used for that chart.
Is a ladder a vehicle?
That was ours today. Walt.
This is going to be an episode that comes out in a couple of weeks, but is a ladder a vehicle? Because it helps you get from point A to point B.
Mode of conveyance.
Yeah, your definition is what we've been using kind of as a baseline. It's a method of conveyance. It gets you from a place to a place. Is a ladder a vehicle?
Like a bridge a vehicle then?
Like Diogenes holding up a ladder and being like, behold a car.
I don't know.
Oh, no.
Look, we started the lap thinking we understood what a vehicle was. We finished the lap after talking about this.
Much less
episodes
of what a vehicle
no idea.
is. Yes.
Zero idea what it is.
Yep.
Is there anything in particular, and I don't want to shoot too many bullets here. I want to save all the good conversations for the episodes themselves, but is there anything in particular you are most excited about or interested in or looking forward to sort of learning or relearning or processing in any movie in particular or across this journey over the next, several months?
I got one. All right. So the ninth film featured a scene in which they go into space.
Yes.
On a car. And I felt like that was something that everyone thought we were leading up to in the movies prior to that. Like they gotta do something crazier. They gotta do the next crazy thing. They jumped a car from one building to another building to another building. Now they gotta do space. And finally they did it. They went to space. And I think after that, we all just took a second and was like, okay, well, they went to space. What could possibly be next? And then in this last movie, there was not anything particularly more. Aliens didn't show up and start shooting people.
You're right.
That did not happen. They didn't go all the way to the moon. That did not happen yet either. So there was this obvious ramp up over movie after movie after movie of what's the biggest set piece stunt that we could do, and now it looks like they're not gonna do that anymore. So you have to make things compelling in some other kind of way.
I think so the first time that I think we chatted, because I had written a story about Vin Diesel for 538, and my thesis for Vin Diesel is that I think that he's such an interesting auteur. And I don't use that word derisively because I think that he is kind of the auteur of this franchise.
Yes.
I think that he is such an interesting auteur because the two franchises that he has, genuine hands on the wheel for. This is it's not a pun. I'm sorry for doing that.
It's definitely a pun.
It is. But it wasn't on purpose, and so I feel bad after I say it. Oh, I'm in Queens right now, and so you can actually hear some sound effects in the background. Oh yeah. But no. So I think that the thing that's interesting about the Riddick movies and the thing that's interesting about the movies in the Fast and Furious franchise is that I think that Vin Diesel is a Gygaxian in a Campbellian world, by which I mean every other action franchise is doing the hero's journey of Joseph Campbell, whereas Vin Diesel did not grow up loving that stuff as much as he loved Dungeons & Dragons. And in Dungeons and Dragons, you start small and then gradually get big, and enemies become friends, and friends become enemies, and friends become lovers, and then they get brainwashed and all that kind of stuff. That's all of these franchises that he does, and I think that is just such a remarkable style of filmmaking that I would like to just kind of rewatch it and try to understand what these individual characters are kind of building towards and from.
Interesting.
Right? At what point does one flip from rogue to artificer, as it were? It's just kind of watching his vision as an auteur of how these characters grow and change. I think is going to be the most exciting part of this watch for me.
he's not telling a single or a series of stories. He's telling one very long story over the course of 25 years. It also like he's creating art in the style that Netflix does, where it's like, don't tell a 10-hour movie. He's like, no, we're going to tell a 10-hour movie. It's going to take 25 years to tell.
He's not creating art in the way that anybody does, except like Brennan Lee Mulligan or like actual play podcast. Like, I just think that like it's a somewhat emerging storytelling format of the 21st century that I think is partially due to some new mediums that have emerged, like podcasts and things like that, but also like the serialized storytelling thing that takes the DNA of, say, wrestling or soap operas and then melds it into like filmmaking and that kind of thing. I think it's been one of the most pervasive and unique things about our era. That I think that this franchise is just distilled, you know?
I love it.
I absolutely love it. I can't wait. I'm gonna learn so much this lap.
I think we're all gonna learn so much.
You're making me want to talk about the Chronicles of Riddick because come on.
We can bring them in. We can cut them in. There's no rules. There's no rules here.
Just incredible storytelling there. Oh, the third one of those movies, by the way, follows no rules. It's a full hour-long training montage into before anything happens.
Sometimes in the middle of a lap, you got to take a pit stop. And if we need to do a little Riddick pit stop, then I'm down for a little Riddick pit stop. I don't know what to tell you.
You always need a Riddick pit stop.
Look, we got nothing but time because literally the next movie's not going to come out for another 14 months maybe. So we got nothing but time.
14 months is optimistic.
Next, I'm targeting next Memorial Day is my guess for the next.
They haven't even done anything yet.
I know, man. I know.
Okay.
We'll see.
Okay.
But yeah, if you guys want to cut in some D&D, if you guys want to cut in some Riddick, if you want to cut in some whatever.
Multifacial.
I would love to talk about Multifacial. I think it's one of the most interesting shorts I've ever seen.
We're going to do all of it.
It's good.
Do all of it.
Whatever you guys want to do, we're here for. We are so thrilled that you guys want to join us and talk about these movies with us.
And thank you for having us. This was an insane text message and a presumptuous text message to send to someone. And I was so happy when you guys were down because it was like, this is going to be a really, really fun couple months.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's going to be great. Anything last to say before we stop this and then come back in a couple of weeks to talk about the first movie proper?
No, I mean, hey, thanks for having us, and again, thanks for all the folks listening. This is going to be a fun one. Me and Kim love these movies, and we love this podcast.
We are so excited. Understand that we have the full enthusiasm is coming to bear for both of us.
Beautiful,
very, very cool.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, guys.
Thank you as always, brothers.
Thank you.
So there it is. We know the theme. We know the guests.
Holy shit, by the way. That was I actually haven't got to gush about it with you yet. Awesome. I am stoked out of my mind. Walt and Kim are awesome and very smart. Mm-hmm. And as I hinted earlier in the episode, I'm ready to learn some shit.
So our next episode will not be the start of the next lap. The next episode will be Ferrari. So if you want to watch Ferrari.
And I mean, now, not very big news, but I think I told you in F1 news, Lewis Hamilton, the greatest F1 driver, most awarded F1 driver of all time, is joining the Scuderia next in 2025. Insane.
You were like, this is going to give me so much more, or going to be so much better for us to talk about. I'm like, maybe for you. I don't know what the fuck. What?
It's going to be very interesting for me to watch Ferrari, knowing that eventually we get Lewis Hamilton on the Ferrari race team. That's insane. Yeah,
it's like watching Hoosiers and be like, one day Michael Jordan's going to play this sport.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Kind of. Exactly. Anyway, come back next week for Ferrari. Also, shout out to our patrons.
Oh.
Cassie Wilson, Nick Burris, Alex Ellen, and Jessica Kleiman, Brian Rodriguez of High School Slumber Party.
Ooh.
Wes Hampton, Jerry Robinson, Dan the Duke, Hayden Renato, Di Donato, Michael McGann, Lane Middleton, Lindsay Lewandowski, Nate Milton of the Kings of Sport, Jason Rainey, Tom Price, Mike Gallier, Josh Buckley. You heard from those guys today of Whole Lot of Wolves. Oh, and Michael Moser. I forgot Michael's after him. Yeah, Mike Gallier, Josh Buckley, Michael Moser. You heard from two of those today, not Mike Gallier. Christian Larson, Tara Newone, Aaron Willows, and Natalie Absolute, Randy Carter, Josh Goularm, and Jessica Collins, a.k.a. Montez. Thank you all for supporting us at the $5 a month level or above. If you want to join their ranks, toofast2forever.com. But for all things Too Fast, Too Forever, go to cageclub.me, facebook.com/toofast2forever, or at toofast2forever on all the social platforms. Email us, family@cageclub.me.
Do it.
Patreon page at toofast2forever.com and store at cageclub.me/shop. Come back next week for Ferrari, and in 2 weeks to kick off lap 14 with the Fast and the Furious. I'm Joey Lewandowski.
I'm Joe too.
And we will tell you all about it
when we see you